So today I want to talk about cat owner stress, the owner's own stress after their cats have had a bad fight. What I'm talking about is when the cats, have really gone after each other badly, tumbling through the home, screaming, and now the cat, like they really almost injured each other, or maybe they did, maybe one did get a bite abscess, but it looked like, frankly, the cats were going to kill each other. So you had to separate the cats. They're in different, rooms right now, and the owner is working through that gradual reintroduction process. And you've seen my Facebook Lives I've been doing over the month of like December and January, where I'm showing that stepwise way of how we get the cats to, like each other through the solid door, then see each other through the gate, moving and learning to ignore each other, learning to tolerate each other. And these cats are actually, they're like, hey, okay, cool. You're up on your perch, I'm down on the floor. We're not competing. I can see you and move around, and I know, like, the cats have enough repeats that the cats are trusting, and tolerating each other. So the cats are really adjusting, and they're learning how to live together as we go through these steps. Now we get to that third step. It's time to bring the cats out in the home. And even when we've maybe trained one, to wear a harness and a leash, so we have control over, let's say, the active cat, the bully cat, I'll call him the bully cat, the one that wants to lunge you after an attack, still for the owner. And those first times, and maybe even prolonged, to have the cats get together, the owner is very fearful. And as I've been doing these behavior consults for years, and I can identify with my canine patients and their owners over, like, if the dog is aggressed on a human or another dog, how the dog's trained and so on. But for our cat owners, there's a few different things going on. My cat owners oftentimes are, they're in a state of PTSD. The owner is really very traumatized by this. And I don't think it's because of an attachment issue. Like, I don't think the cat owners love their cats more, than, say, the dog owners, that therefore the cat owner feels worse about, the cat getting attacked, by the bully cat. More often than not, what I observe in talking to my cat owners is that the cat owner still does not feel very secure in knowing or understanding how to tell when the tension is starting to brew up. Because way back at that first fight, they're still thinking, like, oh my gosh, it came out of the blue. And while I could say, no, it didn't, but to the owner, it feels that way. And yes, the cat body language and that brewing aggression is so much more subtle. It's harder to read. The cat's bodies are smaller. They're down on the floor. That it is easy. It was easy to completely have missed it before we did this consulting and the client's learning. And even now in the face of doing the desensitization and counter conditioning and working with our cats, and the owners are starting to read their cat's body language better, still deep in their heart, they still worry, like, he's going to just suddenly fly after the other cat and attack him and almost kill him. And then we'll lose everything, right? We're going to lose everything we've learned. We're back to square one. It isn't going to work. They're kind of stuck. These owners are kind of stuck. And they want to introduce the cats back in the home. That is the goal they want to get to. And many of the cat owners are very realistic about not expecting these cats to be buddy cats, co-grooming or sleeping together. They just don't want a big fight. And I feel confident we can achieve this, but I need to help my client see this same thing too, or help my client through their own process of releasing their stress, releasing their memory, their mental trauma of witnessing that fight. So here are a few things that I want to cover that I've found that have helped my clients. Number one, so I want to help all you out there and all of the veterinarians and behaviorists and veterinary technicians and shelter care workers and cat owners as well. Remember this not only for yourself, but remember this for your friends and family. Because if your friends and family you can tell are really stressed out about this cat fight, that is real. Okay? Really, don't diminish it. Please don't diminish it. Please don't discount it. Please don't be like, oh, it's getting together, it'll be fine. No. Because the owner's stress is going to also stress the cats, right? So we have that if the owner is stressed trying to get the cats together, the cats are going to feed off that. In other words, the cats get more stressed and then the cats get stressed with each other. So it will go worse. So we have to help our cat owners be less stressed as a preparation for bringing the cats together in the home. All right, so where do I start with this? Number one thing is there has to be a feeling for this cat owner that the cat owner has something, whether it's an object, an item, something very handy, something very safe, meaning the cat will not be able to get through it, run through it, lunge through it, bite through it, scratch through it. A tool that will block or be able to stop the bully cat when the bully cat might, even if the bully cat hasn't started to lunge on, when this owner thinks maybe it might happen. So we're going to have, I'm going to call these safety tools that are handy. They're right by the side of the owner. They can immediately or easily grab that, and the owner knows how to use it, and that the cats like it. Okay, so that's a lot of steps. And I include this part, safety tools that we've trained the cats to like, and that the owner has positioned in handy places around the house, as part of my step 2 before we go to step 3. So we have safety tools that are handy, and the cats like them. All right, so what are these things? These are what I call my shields. That's a yardstick where the person has taped a big 12-inch square piece of cardboard to it. So just like a shield, now if we have the bully cat is now out in the house on the harness, maybe dragging a leash just so you can pick up the leash and block the cat. But just in that moment where now this owner's like, oh, I think he's staring at the other cat who just walked in the hall, they can put this shield in front of the bully cat, and it just is like this. Okay, we're not talking about right against the face, but just right in front of them, because that blocks the stare. Blocking the stare is the best way to decrease aggression. And simple things like just put a piece of, the shield in front of the cat's face, or pick up, now you got to think of things that are handy too. And that's what you'll tell your client. Make sure you leave some magazines or, a book that's 8 inches by 10 inches laying around on your coffee table and end table, because now you could just pick that up and put that right in front of the bully cat's eyes. And that, it's like a blindfold, right? Blinders. That blinder, oh, okay. The other cat's not around. Seriously. It is as simple as that. But these tools have to be handy. And oftentimes I will have my client not only lay these around the house, but I'm going to say, go ahead and pick it up and use it right now. I want you to be comfortable using that. Okay? Thirdly, part of that step 2 plan, remember tossing the food around the baby gates and moving around the house. We're going to leave these shields laying around in the, like say the bedroom, that microenvironment, or in the house. And so now when the cats are, while they're still separate, in their spaces, I'm going to make the toss the food game around the shield, around the blanket, and you're tossing food as you're picking up the magazine and putting it in front of their face. So we desensitize and counter condition. We positively condition the cat too when you pick up the tool, so that the picking up the tool is not startling the cat, because startle is also a leading cause for the cat to be like, ooh, what's that? And get jumpy. And then when one startles, the other startles, and then you have a cat fight. So control by having safety tools that the owner is accustomed and comfortable with using. Because the owner's not comfortable using it, they're still tense, the owner's still tense, and it's not going to work. Okay, so we're going to have these safety tools, the shield on the yardstick, handy magazine, handy, folder, and these are just blinders, like blinders on a horse, and that the cats have been trained to like them. Okay, number 1. Number 2, where did the big fight happen? Okay, what was the room? What was the place? What was the whole scenario? These are all the triggers. Okay, it's called triggers. The room, the motion, the noise. And just it's in a similar way for our cats, how our cats embed the memory of all those elements. And then all of those elements, become that memory of fear and anxiety. The same has happened for our owner. And that's why when, oh no, Fluffy in the sunroom with Jerry, the other cat, that just walked in. A fight's gonna happen, because that was the room, that was the place, that was the situation when the big fight happened a month or two ago. And now for the owner, when they're seeing the same scenario, the owner is triggered up to that past memory. And that's how the owner is stressing out. So what we need to do is we need to counter condition and desensitize our owner to these space and environment triggers with the cats together in them. Well, how do we do that? Okay, so we're going to, first of all, identify the owner's triggers. And then DS and CC them. I'm not kidding about this. Okay, so what does that mean is, okay, we're going to say, okay, so it is the sunroom where the fight happened, and so then you, Mrs. Jones, when you see the cats in the sunroom, that's what increases your heart rate and makes your stomach turn, and your hair stand on end, and you're really tense, and the cats can sense that from you, and so that's also going to be why the cats may have another fight in the sunroom. So what do? We're going to take Mrs. Jones in the sunroom, and we're going to have Mrs. Jones in that sunroom with her safety tools. And we are going to have her be readily tossing food or just even sit in there with each cat individually. And I like this. I love this day and age which we are now in with our cell phones and such. And I want that owner to set their cell phone on video and video each cat individually in that space. So that owner is very clear and can clearly see the body language of that cat, and they can match that body language against the feline body language charts that I share, the one that, photograph one from Cattle Dog Publishing, and the ladder of aggression chart that I also have. So that way the owner will feel very clear, like, okay, he's really happy, she's really happy, separately. Okay, fine, that's a foundation. Now I'm bringing them together. So I'm bringing them together with the owner. We know the owner's going to be triggered in this spot, but we've got to desensitize the owner. The owner has to have a human buddy. A human buddy who is neutral. Okay, I'm going to say neutral. I'm not going to say I don't want a cheerleading positive human just because we as humans mentally, if I keep hearing something going, look, it's great all the time, I may mentally start negating what this person's saying. If my buddy who's in that room with me, and the buddy may be the one in charge of blocking the cats, and the safety tools to be in there, that buddy person also understands how to read the cat's body language. So they take control of making sure the cats don't fight. So that eases up the owner's duty, their work they have to do. When they're scared, they're going to screw up, and it's all going to go bad, and it's all my fault. My cats hate each other, and life is horrible now. So we have a buddy who also has been part of this cat plan or knows how to control the cats. We have the safety tools handy. So now that this stressed owner is going to sit in that room, and what they're going to hear from their neutral buddy is not only tossing the cats, hey cats, you're doing a good job. They're going to say to their friend, Mrs. Jones, you're awesome. You are doing a great job to be present here. How are you feeling? Okay, keep breathing a little deep, Mrs. Jones. Very good. Those deep breaths, don't they help to relax your body? Very good. Your relaxation's helping the cats. Good job. That's how you are positively conditioning the owner and desensitizing them while exposing them to their stress trigger, which is the two cats in that sunroom together on the floor and getting together for the first time. So we need to, when we are really stressed as an owner about our cats getting together, we need to work on either finding a buddy, or I myself, this is why when I do my feline consults and getting the cats together, I do a video call with my clients on the first day we're going to expose the cats to each other. And I have found that part of my job is to not only say, good, the cats are doing well, but to also say, and Jane, you're doing well too. Or I may say, okay, let's stop where we are here now. It's only been 3 minutes. The cats are doing great, but we need to take a break now because I can sense, Jane, I can see your shoulders are tensing up. I can see you look tense. Yeah, I look tense, Dr. Foote. Okay, let's stop with the cats. Let's sit down and regroup and talk about this. And in doing that, it's not about a reprimand, but it's just Because for this owner, they've got to do this in small bites. They can't do this for an hour. It's too much. It overwhelms them emotionally. So I've learned in doing this, behavior consulting, etc., to now when it comes to the cat introduction, say, we're going to do an introduction actually in the home for maybe 5 minutes maximum, and separate the cats for an hour. Give yourself a little break, and I want you to video when these cats are together. So then in that hour, again, you can look at the video and really recap and re-see, are they okay, are they not okay? And if you don't feel they're okay, they don't have to get back together again that day. But we'll build it up daily that way. But I really feel that buddy system for us humans, we need a human who's neutral, okay? And neutral, non-judgmental about this, all right? And that the buddy person also knows how to toss the food, use the shields, and we have those safety shields together. Third thing is, sorry, this is getting sloppy, isn't it? Those body language charts and ladder of aggression. Wallpaper every room in the house that these cats are going to be in together with those two handouts. Because you do have to catch the, ooh, she's starting to twitch his tail. Ooh, now they're looking at each other. And if you don't catch that then and put up the shield, okay, or just kind of block them for a minute or toss the food to redirect them, then they're going to stare a little bit longer. Remember, the longer they stare, they ramp up that ladder to go to then chase, pounce, bite. And in cats, it's 2 to 3 times faster than it is in dogs. So make it easy to recognize and to double check yourself. Because again, we go back to that stressed owner. They're doubting themselves so much about it, whether or not they really can do this, they really are reading this correctly. Have that body language chart from Cattle Dog Publishing right next to my ladder of aggression. You can get my ladder of aggression off my website, drsallyjfoote.com, and put the two of them together, because then you are matching what you see with how high they are. And lastly, then have your tools handy. I think as a fourth point, anything that this owner can do for self-calming, self-care on a daily basis. What do I mean? All right, for some of my clients, I've suggested they journal this. They get a little notebook journal and they write down everything they feel about it, how scared they are, what, all the disasters they're worried about happening. Free reign. You can write anything down that you want, and you should, because you need to get this out of your head. You need to get it out of yourself as a part of releasing that emotion and being able to then start to recognize what is really happening now, because that's the issue here at hand. It is really difficult for this owner who's been traumatized to truly see the improved behavior today, because the fear is like clouding their perception of what they're seeing. So to release the fear, and there's tons of psychological information about this, but some of the simple things that I've suggested to my clients, maybe they did it, maybe they didn't do it, I don't know, but at least gave them, I think, the validation of what they're feeling, and that there are techniques that they should do for self-care. So a journal is one idea. A second one, some of my clients like to do yoga. They like to meditate. Some of the other deep breathing, prayer, mantra type, techniques, spiritual techniques. One client, she would go and then everything was done, cats put up, she would go and she would paint. She liked to paint. She would paint for however long, but that helped her to release this. Lastly, a run, a walk, just get out of the house, get out of the space, get a little physical activity yourself. That could be a way of venting it. But any of those ideas are fine, but you should suggest that. If you're the buddy friend, make sure that you are helping your friend, the stressed friend, to keep up with these self-care things. If you are a professional, like a behaviorist or the veterinarian or the technician, and we all can tell when our clients are really feeling the distress, ask, what are you doing to help yourself, or whatever you do to help decrease your personal worries. I want to encourage you to do that now as well in this situation, because you need this help, and this help is valid to get for yourself. Okay, thank you so much. I hope this has been helpful as we are helping our pets, especially our cats, with learning to get along and learning to like each other, and for our clients as well. Please be sure to visit my website, drsallyjfoote.com. I have a lot of blog articles. My most recent blog article is on reuniting two cats, and I've got some great pictures featured with some of the cases I've had of the cats who've been able to get together. I also have, various handouts. I also do have in the shop courses for clients as well as for veterinary and shelter staff for continuing education. And of course, my YouTube channel. I'll be uploading these Facebook Lives to my YouTube channel as well, so please subscribe to it. So this way you can always rewatch these or share these with your friends and other people. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.